Howdy folks, welcome to Draw Sessions. So today I'm going to give you 10 essential tips to help you master the art of freelancing and to achieve success. So I've done a video like this before. It was my latest video actually, and I dove right into how you message people, who you message, etc. So this is going to take a step back just a little further and broaden the whole scope of freelancing. So let's jump right into that. Tip number 1, find your niche. Identify your strengths and skills and focus on a specific area where you can excel. By specializing, you will attract clients who are looking for your expertise. Now, for me personally, it's always been creatures, with characters as a close second, because creatures and characters go hand in hand. But with me, I really doubled down on animal anatomy, studying everything that I could about movie creatures and game creatures. I have been drawing them since I was 4 years old. It allowed me to really focus and get good at that one thing. And we'll get into more details about that in a little bit, but I want to move on to number 2. Number 2, you got to build a strong portfolio. And I know it's cliche to hear, but it's true. You got to showcase your best work to demonstrate your abilities and experience. A well-curated portfolio will grab attention and convince potential clients to choose you over somebody else. Now, what does it mean to actually curate? Well, it's self-editing, essentially. You will hear so many different things about how many pieces to put in your portfolio. How do I word a resume? How can they tell how much experience I have based on my drawings and paintings, etc.? Your portfolio, from right out of the gate, should hit them in the face with your experience and your absolute best work. Because I hate to break it to you, but this is 100% honesty, because I've seen it in person and I've experienced it. An art director, when they look at your work online, it takes 10 seconds or less to know if you are actually good. Period. It doesn't matter if you have 25 pieces in your portfolio, 25 pages. They're not going to flip through to page number 19 because you love that particular drawing. No. You need to hit them with your best work. Typically, it's the first 1, 2, or 3 pages. And that is a whole other thing I can talk about in another video. Tip number 3. You gotta network. Network. Have you ever heard, oh, it's about who you know? Well, yes, it is. But also it's about your work. Because you can know a lot of people and your work still sucks and you still won't get a job. So you gotta have those two things married. Okay, so networking. You gotta join freelance forums, attend events, connect with other professionals in your field. Building relationships with fellow freelancers and potential clients will open up a lot more opportunities for collaborations and projects. So I know money's tight, especially for starving artists, but starving students essentially. If you're in school, it's kind of hard to afford to fly somewhere. But of all the events that I have ever been to, I have to say that GDC is the biggest one and the most life-changing. I went to GDC back in 2018, and I've religiously listened to every other one, in the GDC vault online and all that. But if you've never been to GDC, please try your best to make it to the next one or save up for them, within the next couple years. The companies there, I mean, everybody that you would possibly want to work for and with and meet, they're all there. All of them. HR department, producers, recruiters, visual effects artists, whole companies. I mean, Nintendo, Epic Games, Amazon, everybody is there. Okay, so, and you can set up different portfolio reviews. You can meet a lot of people and network. It's great. All right. Tip number 4. You have to set realistic goals. Plan your time, set deadlines, and you have to stick to them. Break down your projects into manageable tasks to maintain productivity and deliver top-notch results. Remember, as a freelancer, you are a business. Your client most likely will never meet you in person. You don't get to shake hands with them. They don't see your face. They trust you based on your work and whether or not you are punctual during meetings and turning in the work. Because let me tell you, when you work in-house somewhere, you have a little bit of wiggle room as to missing a deadline. If you miss a deadline as a freelancer, they could dump you on the spot because they can ghost you. I'm telling you this straight up. You have to be on time. You are your own business, and this is how you build up your clientele. And as you build up your clientele, that's when you're going to start really building your brand. Okay, you're going to need a set schedule. Like, I'm going to work on this at 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. I'm going to work on this at 10 a.m. I'm going to get this done in 2 days, etc. It feels good because you feel like a professional, but at the same time, you have to stay organized. And let's be frank, most artists are scatterbrained. We are not organized until we are thrown at the wolves. So please just keep that in mind. Tip number 5, you have to market yourself effectively. The marketing. Well, you have to create a compelling website or portfolio, and you got to optimize your social media profiles. Use strategic keywords and highlight your unique selling points to attract clients and stand out from the competition. If you specialize, they're going to see that. When I post my creatures online, I immediately get noticed by people because they know my style and they know my work and they know my uploading schedule. Okay, so let's go back to optimizing your social media profiles. I'm talking about spreading your brand out to places other than just Facebook. That's not a very good place to post your work. I'm talking Instagram. You could have your own site. ArtStation is huge. I am still a massive advocate of LinkedIn. I can't stress enough what LinkedIn is going to do for you professionally. So if you're stubborn and you haven't made a profile yet, or if you have and you have not posted any work, please do it. Because everybody that would need to see your work to hire you is on LinkedIn. ArtStation, and it's another wonderful site. I've been on ArtStation for over a decade, so please consider them. All right. Tip number 6. You got to price your services wisely. Research the market rates and set your prices accordingly. I've made a video about this already, okay? And I probably could make 5 more. Artists are not charging enough for work. And the bottom line is, it's because most of them, or us, we fear insulting people because we ask for too much. Let me tell you, a lot of freelance artists, most of them, there's no health insurance, there's no retirement, okay? You don't have benefits. And if you have children, and they go to school, and all of that, man, you're talking about needing to price yourself wisely, okay? Think about a full-time salary that you would need to maintain a normal in-house job. Well, you are going to have to basically double it if you want to work in-house, or I'm sorry, freelancing, because you got to pay for overhead and all that. So I'll link that video at the very end just so you can get a better understanding. You got to be confident in your worth and never, ever undersell yourself. Remember, your expertise deserves fair compensation, period. Stop doing $20 comic pages. Stop it. Stop drawing free tattoos for people when the tattoo itself costs $500 to $1,000. Stop that. You should be charging a minimum of $200 just for the line work, especially if you're good. Tip number 7, you got to provide excellent customer service. You got to communicate promptly, be attentive to your client's needs, and always deliver on your promises. Be on time. I mean, that's basically it. Building a reputation for professionalism and reliability will lead to repeat business and referrals. That's exactly how I got my full-time job with NetEase back in 2021, because I was prompt, I was professional, and I delivered on time in my freelance project, and then I was hired full-time because I had a good rapport. All right, tip number 8. You got to be proactive and self-motivated. Just because you make a website and a portfolio and you post it or you publish it, clients aren't just suddenly going to message you. No, you got to keep branching out. You got to go to conventions. You have to be active online. You got to post, interact with people. Take the initiative to pitch ideas, reach out to potential clients. I've mentioned that too, and I'm going to link these videos at the end, okay? Reach out to potential clients, cold contacting, and continuously update your skills. Freelancing requires self-discipline and the drive to go the extra mile. Most artists are stubborn. We're kind of set in our ways and we don't really want to learn new techniques because we feel like we don't need to. And it's a little bit of ego and a little bit of pride, and basically it's an old crotchety attitude. Being like, you know what, I'm kind of set in my ways and I've had some success doing this one thing. I don't need to get better. Well, technology is changing, the world is changing, the world of art is changing, and you will be left behind, and you will be broke, and you will be a starving artist unless you take the initiative. Okay, there is self-discipline. I mean, let's talk about the other things that we had mentioned. Setting up a good schedule. Okay, you have to think about taxes and pricing and all of that stuff. You are the brand. Cavalry's not coming. All right, tip number 9. Talk about money. Manage your finances wisely. Stop spending money on so much stuff. Do not rack up your credit card debt. Keep track of your income and expenses. Set aside funds for taxes and create a financial plan for the future. Take out a piece of notebook paper and write down with a pen. Don't type it in your phone. Don't put it on your notepad. Don't put it in a word processor. Write it down in a notepad. How much money do you want to make per year salaried as your own business, as a freelancer? Do you want to make $50,000 a year, 60, 70? Do you want to make that coveted $100,000 a year with your branding and your freelancing and your tutorials and all of that stuff? Great, write it down, break it down, okay? And you got to set aside funds for taxes and create a financial plan for the future. Being financially responsible will ensure the stability and growth of your freelancing career. There are a lot of freelancers out there that have been doing it for 15, 20, 25 years and are broke. It's nobody's fault but themselves because they did not pay attention to their finances. They're 58 years old, 60 years old, and they still don't have a retirement. No, there's nobody to blame but themselves. Okay, you have to take control. There is time. It's not too late, folks. Those of you that are watching that are like 50, 55 years old, it's not too late. It's not. It's all about the mindset. Set a plan, set a strategy, and you can do it. All right. So the final tip number 10, and this is probably a big cliche, but it is 100% true. Never stop learning. Stay updated with the latest trends and technologies in your field. Invest in personal and professional development to keep your skills sharp and stay ahead of the competition. I'm going to tell you something that I am totally guilty of, and I'm sure that most of you can relate to this. I have bought so many tutorials online, and I never watched any of them. I just thought they sounded cool, and it would seem cool to learn. But then one day you look inside a folder on your computer and you realize, I have 25 or 30 or 35 different tutorials that I have bought well over $400, $500, $600 worth, and I have not finished a damn thing. And this is when the self-discipline comes in because, again, the cavalry's not coming. So you, as a freelancer, as a brand, as a professional, take control, figure out what you want to niche down in, figure out what you want to make a living at that would make you happy. See, there's a difference between being a freelancer just to pay bills and being a freelancer doing what you love and being able to pay bills. Because when it's the latter, it's not a job, it's not a hobby, it's a passion and it's fun. You don't want freelancing to just be a job. You don't want to say every month, I don't know if I have enough to buy food. Oh man, I can't afford my cell phone. I have no money for gas. I don't know if I'm going to make rent. I need to make $300 in 3 days. How the heck am I going to do that? Oh yeah, I have a credit card. Let's rack up debt and I'll just pay it off next month. And guess what? 6 years later, you don't pay it off. And then you have $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 in debt, all because you did not take proper precautions, but you can. Okay, so that was a little bit of tough love, everybody, but I feel like we as artists, again, because we are stubborn people, I have been stubborn, but as I've gotten older, I've kind of learned the hard way, all right? You can do it, okay? You can be a freelancer. It is definitely possible. So those are 10 valuable tips to help you master freelancing and achieve the success. That is like the bare minimum. I want to thank you for watching this video, and if you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. But above all that, the subscribing and everything, just please comment. I want to hear your story. I want to hear your struggles. We're all in this together. So hopefully, if you comment below, somebody is going to see your comment, relate to it, and then it's going to encourage more people to come out of their shell, because we are introverts. Artists are not extroverts, okay? We have a hard time telling people of our feelings. And when you tell somebody you're a freelancer, you almost get a little self-conscious and embarrassed, because especially older people, because they feel like freelancing isn't a job and you don't have retirement. You see everybody else with a desk job, a 401k job. They go to a building. There's a lot of things that affect us, our self-esteem and everything. I just want you to know that from the bottom of my heart, let me tell you, freelancing is very rewarding, and you could make a damn good living doing it. I mean, a really good living. You just got to prioritize. All right, folks, until next time, see ya.